It's a holy place. Like we know, the holy places here in Vrindavan, the animals here have that kind of karma or situation. So it's not that he took the third birth to complete the karmic cycle or reaction of his prarabdha karma. No. He did it to instruct Rahugana, because he himself was a king at one time. So Prabhupada goes on in the purport. He says, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that a devotee who does not fulfill his devotional duties in one life is given a chance to be born in a fully qualified Brahmanical family, or a rich Kshatriya or Vaishya family. Suchinam Srimatan Gehe Yoga Brasto Vijayate. So we see this Parikshit Maharaj was also been given this chance. Prabhupada in his humility also mentions this point. That you're given a chance to continue. Now to some degree, maybe some of us were also in that situation. But it's not something to be proud of. It's something to be cautious of. It means that we had a chance before, but we blew it. We lost it. So we got another chance again. And not an ordinary chance. Look at where we are sitting. Look at where we are residing, and look at the darshan that we're getting, and look at the people that are surrounding us right now. They are all not ordinary. So this situation that we are in now is by no means ordinary. By no means is it ordinary. So less we can really relate to Bharat Maharaj as a principle. Let's go on to see what Prabhupada says here. So, in the purport to that verse, a very interesting point comes up, 641. Prabhupada makes a very interesting point. He says here, purport, the unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. How many classes? Two classes. Two types of unsuccessful people. We've only heard of one so far, Bharat Maharaj, in one case. Now Prabhupada is saying there's two kinds of unsuccessful yogis. Let's hear more. One is fallen after a very little progress, and one is fallen after long practice of yoga. The yogi who is fallen after short period of practice goes to the heavenly planets. There's a different destination here. He's doing all the things we're doing, but where's his destination? He's going to the heavenly planets, where the pious live, where pious entities live and are allowed to enter. After prolonged life, that we can relate to maybe with Bharat Maharaj. There, one is sent back again. He comes back. One is sent back again to the planet, to this planet, to take birth in the family of righteous Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, or aristocratic merchants, wealthy people. So, it's not that you go back to Godhead, staying in Vrindavan, doing your sadhana here. There's a high possibility that we could be deviated. So the prohibition is, let's not let that happen. Prabhupada carries on here with the purport. Bharat Maharaj was the firstborn son of Maharaj Rishabha in a rich Kshatriya family. So you can see the birth is not ordinary. It's an imperial birth. It's a great aristocratic birth. It's not an ordinary birth. Prabhupada then goes on to say, but due to his willful negligence, that means it's on your part and my part. Krishna is doing his part by giving us this environment. Guru is doing his part by giving us guidance. The willful negligence can only happen from our part. Very great, profound point. Due to willful negligence of his spiritual duties. And we know what happened, right? He was doing his sadhana, then he started to get sidetracked. So Vrindavan can become like this. Vrindavan can become like this. We can easily be sidetracked by the glamour of technology, of trying to seek out a spouse, so many different things. But let's not that happen. Prabhupada then goes on to say, and his excessive attachment to an insignificant deer. Now if you think about it, how can a deer be a point of, it's insignificant creature like I showed you. Not only that, it's a baby. It's a baby deer. It's a small, it's a bacha. It's a baby deer. So how can something like that cause such a great downfall to such a great personality? There's a nice English word that Prabhupada uses to summarize this point. It's called transmogrify. Transmogrify means to move from a bad situation into a worse situation. We already have this mind to deal with. We already have a whole backload of karma that we're trying to deal with. And now, when we're practicing the spiritual life, we get even more sidetracked and probably can lose focus completely. So the point is prohibition, be careful. So the secret to this is given in 8.6. Krishna gives that, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tadante ante kalevaram tam tam evaite kunteya sadatat bhava bhavita. What is your bhava? What is your mood at that time when you're leaving your body? So that can only be what you cultivated in the present while you are conscious. Because in that state, you're not going to have much control over your mind and body. So if we don't practice it seriously now, when a serious situation does come, like death, do you think we're going to be ready for it? You think about that one. So Prabhupada goes on to say here, one more comment here. His mind has done it to him again, Bharat Maharaj. His mind has tricked him again. It first tricked him in the first situation, as in material life, that I'm a king, I'm a great person. And then it tricked him again. The mind has tricked him again. As the king, he would have enjoyed so much of prestige, and now it has tricked him into the body of a deer. This is my favorite devotee. He's a small fellow, but he's my favorite devotee. Why? Because he says here, Maya, back off. I belong to Krishna. Look at his expression. It's very strong about it. So he's convinced, well, at least the picture is showing it, right? He's convinced that Maya can actually come in at any time. And it is confusing as to what decisions to make and how to make the right decisions. It's not an easy thing. What do I do? Do I do this? Do I do that? If we based our spiritual life on that kind of decision making, that's just based on the mind. Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Therefore we need the Shastra to guide us. Shastra is not based on Sankalpa, Vikalpa. It's based on deep spiritual knowledge. Therefore, if we continue to practice in a deep way, like this particular person, what is he doing? He's trying to move a mountain. He's trying to move a huge rock. Something impossible. But his determination is not impossible. Prabhupada has told us, impossible is in the Fool's Dictionary. This is the degree of what is needed to transcend the spiritual world. Not a small task, right? Here's somebody who is endeavoring. What is he doing? He's trying to jump between two mountains, and he's halfway in the air. Do you think he's going to make it? Well, this is kind of like what we are doing right now. We are trying to make this big jump out of this material world into the spiritual world. Do you think it's going to be easy? You can see behind him some rocks already falling. So there's a very deep principle that's coming out here. A very deep principle. Have this conviction that I could lose my footing in spiritual life if I'm not careful. So we'd like to, there's more that we'd like to discuss, but there's one point, because time is over and I don't like to go too much over time. This is a very wonderful, just going to discuss this last picture here. It's a very inspiring picture that somebody sent me recently. I hope you can see it a bit from the back. But it's a picture of somebody who took a picture of a monkey sitting on an edge, and it's watching. This kind of looks like Varshana. So it's watching the place. So a monkey sitting on a ledge, and it's kind of taking darshan over the place. It's in Vrindavan, right? And the quote says here, the caption is very interesting. It says here, when there will come that day, when will come that day when Vrindavan will be my only home? When will it come that day when Vrindavan will be my only home? Why only home? Because home is where the heart is. Where is your heart? Where is your attachments? Where is your attractions? So when will that day come when Vrindavan will be my only home, my only attraction, my only place of residence, where I just keep my heart, I don't move it out of there. So this is where we want to keep ourselves, in Vrindavan. But it's not on Vrindavan. Right now we're on Vrindavan. We're living on Vrindavan. We want to keep ourselves in Vrindavan. So it's a very deep point. We're just starting this chapter, so there's a lot to be discussed here. You're going to hear more from the wonderful realizations of other devotees also. So I'd just like to leave you with a few of those points and think about it carefully. We have a great opportunity. We had a great opportunity. That's why we're sitting here like this today. So we lost it once that we're aware of. We don't know how many more that we're not aware of. So we have a great chance now. Let's not lose the mercy that we can gain by practicing deeply in Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Bol. If you have any questions,